Hey, it's Mark with Mark's Dodgers Cards, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of my thoughts on eye appeal. What does eye appeal mean for cards, and what does it mean to me? Lots of thoughts on what this means. When I watch videos recently, people talking about eye appeal, it seems to me a lot of the conversation focuses on centering. Equals high eye appeal, and of course, centering is important. It's a kind of goes into what looks good as a card. But to me, centering is not the most important thing, and it's just one factor among many factors that leads to something being high eye appeal. For me, when something's high eye appeal, that's something that isn't distracting, where the card looks clean. So important factors to me above centering are clear registration, absence of big surface defects, no creases, dots, snowing that interferes with the way the card looks, no chipping or kind of flaws on the edges that distract from the crispness of the card. Um, I like a card that looks like as close to possible that it came out of a pack. And sometimes in the older cards, the cards came out of the packs off center, and that's fine with me. I like a centered card, but it's just not the most important thing. And I think a lot of times in the videos, at least I've been seeing, when people do talk about eye appeal, they're talking more about centering than any of these other factors. So that's just, to me, everybody's got their own opinion on what makes a card look good, what makes for good eye appeal, and that's just what I feel. So I'm going to show a few cards from my collection that I consider high eye appeal but are off center. And I'd like to hear what you all think about this. To me, I'm not disappointed that the centering is getting a premium. It means I can pick up cards that I think look great for maybe a little bit of a lower price. But that's just sort of my take on it, and I'll show you some of these cards and see what you think. All right, like I said, I think that centering maybe gets a little bit overemphasized in terms of eye appeal. So here's a few of my what I call high eye appeal off-center cards. This one is a T205 Zack Wheat. If you look at this card, obviously it's off-center, but look, the registration on the picture is awesome. There's minimal chipping on this card where the gold borders, I feel if the gold borders would be chipped more, it'd be very distracting. There's no dots across his face or anything that print defects that make a distraction. And so I like this card. I think this is high eye appeal for a 4. It's not a perfect card, it's a 4, but I like this. The back, you can see there's not staining on it. Yeah, I call this high eye appeal. Here's another one, Ted Williams, 1958 tops, clearly off center, left to right. But look at this, you don't see snowing on this card at all. There's no dots, which there are if you go to eBay and look at 1958 Topps Williams 5s, you'll see ones that have busted out edges or ones that have dots around the face and a little light snowing. There's none of that on this card. The corners are solid. I think this is a pretty high eye appeal, solid 5 that happens to be off center. Here's another one, 1955 Topps Duke Snider. Again, off center, top to bottom, but great color, pretty solid corners. The edges look good. When I look at this card, it looks like it hasn't been worn a lot, and it looks pretty fresh. And I kind of call it high eye appeal. I like it, even though it's off center. Back. Here's another one, Don Drysdale, 1960. Look at those corners. This is nice, clean card. Couple little dots over here, but off to the side. It's not in the middle. But yeah, I mean, it's a little off center, but I think this is solid. It looks good to me. Yeah, high eye appeal. Another one, 1958. Look at the clean image on this card. No snow, no dots. It looks fresh. The corners are solid. For a 5, yeah, I could see a 5 having, kind of more rounded corners. It could be more centered, but there could be some snowing or dots. That would be really distracting. As it is, this looks great to me. And here's the last one. This is, this is on authentic. I think because it's of the way it's cut, very off center. But for authentic, you know, there could be creases all in it, there could be tape on it, there could be all sorts of defects to it. This one has a pretty clear image. Yeah, it's a little bit of little imperfections on the surface, you know, but yeah, I think this card looks great. It's a super clear image. Look at that. So yeah, I call this high eye appeal. There's a blank back. Anyway, those are a few examples, but that's sort of my thought on eye appeal. Everybody's got their own opinions, and you know, which is great. That's what makes everything fun. We don't have to all like the same things, but this is what I consider high eye appeal, off-center cards. And thanks for watching.